You late.
Okay. I know I'm late on this one, but it's something I've wanted to talk about since the announcement this summer. For as long as I've watched Marvel movies, one thing has become very clear to me. MCU villains have always been hit or miss. We've had the really bad,
I am the Mandarin,
and really good. I think over the years, fans of Marvel movies have just come to expect these characters to be forgettable. In 2008, when the first live-action Iron Man movie was released, starring the MCU veteran Robert Downey Jr., I thought it was definitely a home run of a casting when he was chosen to play the Armored Avenger, and the next 10 years and 22 movies to follow would prove just that. To think how different the MCU would have been if Downey wasn't casted. It probably could have drastically changed the Infinity Saga. Admittedly, I was very heartbroken when Tony Stark made his honorable sacrifice in Endgame, but I did think it was one of the best send-offs for a character in recent cinema, and a poetic full-circle way of concluding his journey. Surely this ending wouldn't be undone in any way to ruin the legacy of his character in a superhero film that spanned the better part of a decade, right? Right?
victorvondoom.
There's a saying that goes, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think this quote is especially true when I think about the casting of RDJ as Dr. Doom. While I do believe there's a good chance Downey could play a convincing Dr. Doom, I'm worried that his portrayal could ruin how memorable Tony Stark and Iron Man were in the first 3 phases. So let's talk about a few ways this could go wrong. Robert Downey Jr. has become synonymous with Tony Stark and Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
A character whose wit, charm, and genius have defined the MCU for over a decade. Downey's portrayal of Stark is so ingrained in the audience's mind that it would be nearly impossible for fans to view him as anyone else. Conversely, Dr. Doom is a deeply different character than Stark, and I think he demands a clean break from Downey's iconic role. Seeing RDJ on the screen, the audience would constantly be reminded of Stark's legacy, preventing them from fully embracing Doom as a unique and formidable figure. Think about it like this. Tony Stark is known for his charm, humor, and vulnerability, while Dr. Doom is a menacing, cold, and calculated ruler. Downey's strength was highlighted in how well he played the witty, charming, but flawed character. However, Dr. Doom's complexity requires a much darker, more imposing figure. The two personalities are just fundamentally different, and Downey's typical performance would clash with the cold, tyrannical nature of Dr. Doom. Let's talk about the character of Dr. Doom for a sec. Dr. Victor Von Doom is not just a villain, he's a tragic antihero with a deep sense of pride, loss, and ambition. His intelligence and emotional scars stemming from his troubled past, including the death of his mother and his desire to protect his homeland, are central to his character. To fully portray Doom's psychological complexity, the actor must be able to bring a level of seriousness and subtlety to the role, especially in the more dramatic moments. Now, if you think about how well Downey was able to portray Tony Stark, it's mainly due to his ability to be quick-witted and have an eccentric sense of humor. The physicality of Doom should also be taken into consideration. I think the role requires an actor who can embody a towering, authoritarian presence. He's a ruler who demands respect, and his mastery of science and magic gives him an aura of invulnerability. Downey Jr., despite his immense talent, does not physically project the same imposing stature that Doom requires. His relatively smaller physical frame, combined with the charisma of his usual roles, would likely undermine Doom's menacing aura. The MCU has a history of casting actors who can deliver depth through great performances in villainous roles. When I think of characters like Thanos, played by Josh Brolin, Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, and even Kang, played by Jonathan Majors, they've all been successful in part due to their commanding performances. These actors embody villains with real presence, whether through sheer physicality, nuanced performances, or both. Robert Downey Jr. has a star power that could overshadow the character of Dr. Doom. His association with Iron Man and the fact that he's one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars might detract from the role of Doom. Instead of Doom being a powerful villain in his own right, Downey's presence would likely turn him into a distraction, with audiences always linking him back to Stark. The MCU's villains tend to be multi-dimensional, with motivations that go beyond simple evil. While Dr. Doom certainly has layers, Downey's established on-screen persona would make it difficult for audiences to accept him as a cold, calculated villain. His tendency to play morally ambiguous or even heroic figures like Stark would make it hard for viewers to buy into him as a truly malevolent force. One of the strengths of the MCU is its ability to breathe new life into classic characters, whether through new takes on heroes like Spider-Man or fresh interpretations of iconic villains. Casting Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom would risk stifling the character's potential, trapping him in a past that audiences are already too familiar with. Dr. Doom is one of Marvel's most iconic villains, and his first portrayal in the MCU needs to establish him as a major threat, both to the Avengers and the entire world. To do this effectively, the MCU needs an actor who can bring a fresh perspective and an entirely different dynamic to the character. Casting Downey Jr. would limit this potential, as audiences would inevitably draw comparisons to his portrayal of Stark, preventing Doom from standing out as a unique force. Ultimately, and fortunately for us as fans, we get one of the best actors of the past 2 decades, and 2 directors that have helmed projects that consistently delivered in the Russo brothers. At this point with Marvel, when we see Downey in Doomsday, it could either go really bad or really good. I'm a bit optimistic, so maybe we'll see a return to form. I mean, it's not like there's anything else in the meantime that could ruin the legacy of Tony Stark, right? Right?
Oh man. Oh god, oh man.
Meanwhile.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
So what do you guys think? Is the casting of RDJ as Doom really a good choice? Or would you like to see someone fresh in the role? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. As always, keep pushing peace, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Not a great plan.